Have you ever wondered why two people can grow up in the same city, go to the same schools, and still become completely different adults? Why one person stays calm under pressure while another gets anxious? Why some people trust easily while others always expect the worst? Why habits, confidence, communication, even the way we handle conflict can feel almost built in? A lot of that starts much earlier than we realize. Today, let's talk about developmental psychology, the science of how we grow, change, and become who we are. And here's the fascinating part: developmental psychology isn't just about childhood. It helps explain your relationships, your decision-making, your emotional reactions, your learning style, and even the version of yourself you're trying to become right now. At its core, developmental psychology studies how people change across the lifespan, from infancy to old age. It looks at physical growth, thinking, language, emotions, social behavior, and identity. But the real power of it is this: it shows that development is not random. We're shaped by a mix of biology and experience. Our brains are wired with certain tendencies, but our environment teaches those tendencies how to show up. That's why early experiences matter so much. For example, a child who grows up in a stable, responsive environment often learns that the world is predictable. That can lead to stronger emotional regulation and healthier relationships later on. On the other hand, a child exposed to constant stress may become more alert to danger because their brain has learned to stay on guard. That response can be useful in a threatening environment, but later in life, it may show up as anxiety or overthinking. So developmental psychology isn't about blaming the past, it's about understanding the pattern. And that's what makes it useful. If you know how development works, you can make better choices now. For parents, it can change how they support a child's confidence, language, and behavior. For teachers, it explains why some students need more structure, more repetition, or more emotional safety before they can learn effectively. For adults, it helps explain why you might react in old patterns during stress, and why those patterns can change with practice. Let's say someone struggles with public speaking. Developmental psychology might help explain that fear in a deeper way. Maybe as a child, speaking up led to criticism or embarrassment. Over time, the brain linked visibility with danger. That means the fear isn't just in their head, it's a learned response. And once you understand that, you can work with it more effectively. Instead of just saying be confident, you can gradually retrain the response. Small exposures, supportive feedback, and repeated success can slowly build a new pattern. That's the mechanism. The brain changes through experience. Or think about relationships. If someone had caregivers who were consistent and emotionally available, they may find it easier to trust and communicate. If they didn't, they might become avoidant or clingy without fully understanding why. Developmental psychology gives language to those patterns, and language is powerful because once you can name a pattern, you can start changing it. In the end, developmental psychology matters because it helps answer one of the biggest questions there is: how do we become ourselves? Not just what we inherited, not just what happened to us, but how all of it interacted over time to shape the person we are today. And maybe that's the most useful insight of all: you are not fixed. You are shaped and still shaping yourself. If you understand development, you understand change. And if you understand change, you have a lot more power over your future than you might think. Why developmental psychology shapes everything we become is just one small part of developmental psychology. If you're interested, our full free developmental psychology course is linked in the description.